Really. Hi guys, I'm Amanda, the Botanical Brunette, and this is Rue, and welcome to my channel. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about a couple plants that I have in my collection that are safe for your pets. I have written a blog on this, but I kind of wrote it a little bit differently than how I'm going to record this video today. So the blog that I have written, and I will link this all below, the blog that I have written is about plants that are not safe for pets. Basically, the most toxic houseplants for your pets. So these are plants that you'll really want to either avoid, or these plants are like plants that you're gonna wanna be really careful with, keeping them up on like a higher shelf or anything like that. So today we're gonna talk about 5 plants that are not toxic to your pets. If your cat or dog winds up eating a leaf or two of your plant, or hopefully not the whole plant, but if your animal gets a hold of any of these plants, it won't be a emergency 911 vet visit. But of course, like anything, if your pet eats too much of something, then make sure you do monitor them. So when I was first starting out in the plant world, I really didn't think about like the plants that I had in my house. I didn't think that like certain plants would be more harmful to my cat, or if I wind up getting a dog one day. I didn't really kind of think that through. I was just like, oh yeah, they're not gonna bother with it. Luckily for me, Rue is very kind of nonchalant with the plants. He doesn't really bother with them too much. I actually put some of the plants aside that I have in my collection that I'll show you in a minute, and he was honestly just kind of batting them around, but then kind of lost interest and walked away. But that's not the situation for a lot of people. I've heard people here and there talking about their cats or dogs like digging up their plants or completely like devouring and eating their plants. If your cat or dog winds up getting a hold of one of your plants, make sure that you bring them to the vet if you're unsure about, whether they can eat plants or not. Like I mentioned before, the blog that I have, I learned so much about certain plants. Like for instance, the bird of paradise is probably the most dangerous plant. I found that I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it's basically the chemical that they used in gas chambers in the Holocaust. So that's pretty dangerous. They said that if any animal eats any part of a bird of paradise, they can wind up dying in a few minutes to a couple hours. You really want to make sure that plant is not in a pet's reach. For instance, I do have a bird of paradise. It is in a tall planter, and I did wind up cutting the bottom baby leaves off just because I couldn't risk my cat, even though he doesn't bother with it. I couldn't risk him deciding one day oh, that leaf looks tasty, let me take a bite. And I wake up and yeah, I don't even want to think about that. There are certain plants like a philodendron that are mildly toxic to pets. If your cat or dog eats say a philodendron, it will probably wind up having these really bad stomach issues. You probably want to bring them to a vet just because you never want to play around with that. They're family, so you want to protect them. So like I mentioned before, plant species that are safe for pets. So these are just going to be that plant category. And yeah, I'll kind of go into a little bit about each plant, and yeah, maybe we can get a review from Rue and see if he likes them. But as you guys all know, before we get into that, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. You guys are amazing. I am super happy about how fast I'm growing. I'm just super amazed that I have so many followers so far, and you guys are just the greatest. So thank you all so much who's followed along with my crazy plant journey. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first plant I'm going to talk about, I was actually pretty surprised with, because I found that a lot of tropical plants are kind of toxic to pets. So I was kind of surprised when I found that Calatheas are not toxic to pets. Crazy, right? So take my Calathea Ornata for instance. If Rue were to, take a bite out of one of these leaves, he would be okay. So I think that's pretty cool. So You know, Caletheas are notorious for being the divas of the plant world, but they won't bother with your pets. So if you do have a pet that might like nibble on the plants, you obviously don't want them to do that, but they'll be okay if they do that. And speaking of the Calathea, I have another plant diva that's on this list, and that is a polka-dot plant. So polka-dot plants are okay. This plant has given me lots of trouble with everything. Like it hated me at first, but I think we're starting to get to know each other and we're starting to like adapt to each other and whatever. But I had a giant pot of these, and this is what I have left because it just hated me. It would be brown, the leaves would fall off. So it's looking all right now, but this is a plant that's going to be safe for your pet. I actually was pretty surprised with this one as well because, again, like it's not a super popular plant. It was one of the plants that I had for the top plants of 2021. Which I haven't really seen any of these kind of around on my Instagram or anything, so I think might be wrong on that one, but we still have a few months left to go, so who knows, these things might pop off in a few months. But yeah, the polka-dot plant is okay for your pets. And another plant that is safe for your pets is going to be any kind of peperomias. So I have a Pepperomia Obtusifolia with me right here. So peperomias are safe for your pets. Although your pets may not want to chew on peperomias, most peperomias have like thick, kind of like tough leaves. And I feel like a lot of times like my cat will want to go after like a leaf that's kind of thinner. But yeah, like I actually have found that it's kind of a trend, and don't go off of this. Absolutely do not go off of this. But at least in my research, I have found that a lot of like thick, like waxy leaves have been kind of more of a okay plant for pets to be around. So yeah, so peperomias are okay for pets. So if you have a peperomia, you don't really need to worry too much. The next plant on my list is going to be a plant that is one of the easiest plants to care for, but one of the hardest plants for me to keep alive. I have no idea why. I have killed probably 2 of them so far. This is the 3rd one. So, you know, hopefully we won't kill it, but it is the spider plant. This plant is really okay for your pets. My dad actually told me to get a spider plant for my cat because it gives off a very kind of a hallucinogenic for your pet. So it's kind of like catnip. So they kind of like trip. So I got the plant and I'm like, okay, like let me give Rue a piece. Actually, and I did do research. It is true. They do have a hallucinogenic effect on pets. So I wound up cutting a piece of this off and giving it to Rue, and he wanted nothing to do with it. So, and I have grown catnip and catgrass, and he has just been like, whatever. Like he did not care about it whatsoever. So I don't know why I thought any different, but so far so good. I mean, this plant has lost a lot of leaves in my care, but it's starting to pop up some new ones. So hopefully it was just needing to be like adjusted, but this is my sad little spider plant. So yeah, spider plants are okay for your pets. And last but not least, the next plant that I have on my list for plants that are okay for your pets are going to be Hoyas, the fan favorite. So I was so happy when I saw this. And again, waxy, thick leaves. So I was like, win-win, like that's awesome. So I was really excited to see that like Hoyas were on this list. Like, who doesn't love a Hoya? Everybody loves Hoyas, I think, right? Everybody loves Hoyas? Let me know in the comments if you guys are like Hoya heads. I think that's what they call them. But let me know in the comments if you are a Hoya fan, because I've actually like heard that like it's either like, it's like, I guess it's like Calatheas, like you either love them or you hate them. I'm kind of on the fence, but Hoyas, love them. They're so pretty and they're so easy to care for. So yeah, if one of your pets decides to munch on some of these leaves, they will be okay. So yeah, yay Hoya. All right guys, so that's it. That is just a few plants that I have in my collection that are safe for pets. Again, there are other plants out there that are safe for pets. These are just the ones that I have in my collection. So let me know in the comments what you guys have for plants that are safe for pets. Or if you have any questions, if any of you guys have any questions about like certain plants, I might be able to kind of give you guys some insight on what plants are okay for pets. And also if you have a plant and you're like, oh, well, I just realized that it's not safe for my pet, what do I do? I can give you some like ideas of like how to have it in your home without having your pets be affected. I hope you guys all have a great day, and